Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. It is 7:30 Sunday evening, time for some more Gearhead Interactive Live Chat. As always, we are on two formats live, Facebook and YouTube. So, YouTube got a great crowd here ready to go. Who is on tonight, ready to boogie? Pete is here, Buick Man, Neil made it, Cream City Pete, Kevin L. Let's see, Kevin Brown, Skippy. This new user ID thing's a little funky on YouTube, so I'm sure some of these I'm mispronouncing or screwing up, but it's definitely been a little bit different. Dad's on with us, but we're learning them. May take a few more weeks, but we're learning them. So, but anyway, glad you guys are back. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Ron's here, Jim's here, Hubcap made it. Nut Farm is on tonight. So anyway, I hope everybody is at least recovered from Thanksgiving, because we all know we all ate too much. That's a given, but that happens. Bill Disks here, Steve Reed, John Anderson. Glad you guys are all on and ready to go. Some of us probably still recovering from Thanksgiving, but that's to be expected. Hey, there's Austin. But anyway, lots of things going on, lots of things coming up. I hope you guys all had a good week. And Meekum coming up next weekend. So anyway, but before we get too far into tonight's chat, as always, let's catch a little bit of housekeeping. Hey, there's Waycamp. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, please remember I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. Those are the only comments I can see on Facebook. If you want to comment, participate in the auctions, etc., you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Those are the only two sets of comments that I can see. Autocorrect, please double check your comment before you hit send. If autocorrect changes it to something I can't understand, I will have to skip it. I try to catch most comments. I miss some, but I do try to catch them. But if I can't understand it, there's nothing I can do about it. Trolls, occasionally we do get trolls on here from time to time. We've taken some steps to eliminate some of that, but they do still sneak in. I ignore them. You guys do a great job of making sure they know that they are not welcome here. We got Hudson badges and we got Auburn badges ready to go tonight. So drink up, fellas. And as always, super chats are super awesome. And we have the supercharged super chat badge warmed up and ready to go for any super chats that we may see tonight. The original 1935 Auburn supercharged Boattail Speedster hood emblem for all super chats. And of course, ads. We are dealing with ads. It's their baby. There's not much we can do about it other than work around them. So that's what we have to do. Scott's here with us on Facebook. Tractor Mike is on tonight. Mark's here. John Sanderson made it. But anyway, let's boom, right out of the gate. Austin. Boom! Supercharged super chat from Austin, starting off the super chats for the evening. Thanks to Austin to kick off the supercharged super chats tonight. There's Tim B. Boom! Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it. Hippie made it tonight. So anyway, speaking of Thanksgiving, as you guys know, or some of you know, we did do a yard walk Thursday morning. Had a decent group on, not huge, but we did have a good group on for the Thursday yard walk on Thanksgiving morning. Had not done one in a few months, needed to squeeze one in, and that seemed to work out. Weather wasn't too bad, which it's much worse today, but it worked out. So we did get a live yard walk in. Next one will probably be if the weather cooperates. The last few years, we have done one on New Year's Day. That will probably be the next one. No, I did not track my steps. I've never finished setting up all of the health stuff on my iPhone, so it doesn't automatically tell me. And I don't know how it would register while I'm holding it up, shooting a video with it. So, I do. Yeah, Austin, that last batch, I don't think you did pay for. They are sitting out there ready to go. So yeah, they're still sitting out there, but I don't remember. I don't have a receipt laying with them that I printed. So was going to check with you on that, and then see if you're going to Kansas City. I can bring them with me this weekend as well. So just get with me on that when you get a second. I thought maybe that's what you were doing. So whatever works, just let me know. But your stuff is all still laying out there with your name on it. Mike from Texas is here. Real quick before we get into talking about Meekum and other stuff. Hey, there's Dean. No problem, Dean. Yeah, we had a decent group on. I'm glad you missed it. Sounds good, Austin. That'll work. Yeah, we'll get it figured out whenever. I wasn't worried about it. I'll double check it on my end, but yeah, I put it all in one spot. It's got your name on it. I knew we'd get it straightened out at some point. So, the gathering weekend, the gathering of the Nobodies, third annual. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but it looks like May 16th so far has been the most popular weekend that people are choosing. So there you go, Tractor Mike. So that just like I said, we'll probably nail that down here in the next week or two. So hey, there's Dennis. If there is, if you haven't responded, either emailed Pete or responded to anything on the No Buddies page, maybe we can renew that post. And if you have a preference, email Pete so that we can nail that down. As of right now, May 16th appears to be the most popular choice. So, like I said, here within the next week or two, we're going to nail that down for sure, so that people can start planning and scheduling if they wanted to try to make it work in their schedule. So, if you have not responded, now is the time. This is it. Because hey, there's Kenny. Awesome, Pete. I appreciate it. In 2 weeks, if we may not get to it next week, depending on Meekum, but in 2 weeks from tonight, we will have that nailed down so people can start scheduling. So this is kind of we'll touch on it again next week, but this is this is kind of the end of it. If you want your opinion to be known on that, now is the time to throw it in there and see what weekend is going to win out for everybody. So just wanted to touch on that as well. Now, obviously, coming up, Meekum, Kansas City. Got several guys going. It doesn't look like many of you guys are going to be able to make it this year, which is fine. I perfectly understand. Just wanted to let you know we'll be there if you guys wanted to come hang out. Hey, there's Tim. What's up, Tim? Are you going to Kansas City this year, Tim? I don't really have anything in particular picked out. I don't need to be buying anything anyway. And that's one thing about it. We don't always buy cars. I bought one last year. Well, holler at me, Tim. Catch up with me tomorrow and see what you got cooking. I did buy a car last year. I don't plan on buying any cars this year. Just too many other things going on. There's really nothing there that excites me too much. The only thing that I kind of think is cool, and the reason I think it's cool is because we're going to talk about one of them tonight on Story Time. You're exactly right, Tim. That is totally true. So, yeah, nobody needs to. But the car I bought last year was pretty cheap. They were almost kind of complimentary with entry last year. So, but it was kind of a neat little car that I personally wanted. Most people couldn't care less about them, but I liked them. I was actually thinking about buying one of the Maseratis last year. There were two of them. I was probably considering the second one more so than the first one. But the first one was like a Thursday morning car, and so it went first. Hey, Alex here with us on Facebook. Glad you're back. So I was looking at those Maseratis last year. I ain't gonna lie. That's right. Tractor Mike did make the decision. Just buy this one. Just buy this one. It's cheap. Buy it. So he, of course, Tractor Mike is always there to be a positive influence on people, right? Yeah, you guys have all seen that. How positive of an influence Tractor Mike can be. Speaking of Tractor Mike, when we come back next Sunday, should Tractor Mike stick around Sunday night or should he just go back on home? Do you guys want Tractor Mike next week? It's up to you. Do we want Tractor Mike? Tractor Mike, Tractor Mike, Tractor Mike. Should he stay next week or do you guys want him to go home and not stick around to do the show next week? What do you guys think? There's some votes for you to stick around. So do we hear a Tractor Mike, Tractor Mike, Tractor Mike? There we go. So you guys see if you can talk him into sticking around next week and doing the show. It's been a while since he hung out. So, don't. That was a bad idea. Don't give him the idea of being a legend. That could be very true. That comment could be very possible. So, now, see there again, you go Nut Farm, you're giving him all these ideas. Yeah. Yeah, don't calling him a legend, calling him the Studmeister. Yeah, those are all really, really bad ideas. I've got 173 is the only thing I've gotten 70 to 73 right now in Camaro. And it's just a roller. No motor tranny, no interior. He brought me luck the last on the raffle. That is, Alec. That Hudson oil can is the most. We're giving it away here very soon. It is an original Hudson Oil Company from Kansas City can. That is the raffle tonight, Alec. Hey, there's Jeff from Ottawa. So that's kind of what. So hopefully we can talk Tractor Mike into staying. Now, when Kevin and Mark were here a couple weeks ago, I redid my setup for guests. So I've kind of got it worked out where it's a little more comfortable in here. We got a little more space. So that worked out really well when Kevin and Mark were here, that I kind of stopped and made myself figure out a way to make this work better for when we have guests. I do know we need a Hudson badge, and we also need a supercharged super chat badge for Kevin L. Thanks, Kevin L. Boom. Supercharged super chat for Kevin L. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. So anyway, that's kind of what next week looks like. We will be in Kansas City for 4 or 5 days. We'll go to all 3 days of the auction. And it's really just the Mecum weekend for all of us. Hey, there's David D. Is as much as just a getaway as anything. Some years somebody buys a car, some years nobody buys anything. It just varies. But it's always a good time. It's, you get away for a couple days, you go out and eat at a few different places, you hang out, we see a lot of friends at Mecum. We know Jim Wicks is going to be there. We'll probably get some good content with Jim Wicks. It's always good to see him. We always have other friends that we see there. A friend of mine from Denver's flying in who's a big player. Yep, Alec, a little bit too late at this point. I can't do too much at this point now. I just did the last raffle entries about an hour ago. I usually wait until the end of the day on Sunday for any last minute entries, but yep, we're giving it away here shortly. But so that's what it really boils down to for us, is it's a good getaway. We get to hang out. You see a ton of cars. There's some years there's 10 of us. This year there's right now 5 or 6 of us. So still a pretty good group. Actually, there's going to be 4 or 5 of us at this hotel. We've got some other friends that are going to be there. That are going to be staying at other places, but we'll all get to see them, hang out at the auction. Like I said, it's a huge car show with a lot of action, and you get to hang out, see a lot of people, and hang out with your friends. And that's a pretty good win. It's not terribly far away. But it's far enough away where you're out of town, and but not too terribly far away where it's a real problem to go. So that's right, Pete. It is a heck of an indoor car show. And like I said, and you get to take one home. Well, that's true, Tractor Mike. Yeah, we probably should just go with that. It's if yeah, because we probably shouldn't ask them if they're really friends, but they do tolerate us, so we can go with that maybe. Um, yeah, I think Alan likes us. I think Bird likes us, but we'll see. I don't know. But like I said, that's what it all boils down to. It's just a good time, and hopefully we'll be able to do a few other things in Kansas City. Just depends on how time shakes out. I got a buddy that's got a big Mopar collection. I've got another buddy who restores Mopars. We're gonna stop and see him on the way up. He's just finishing up a 6-pack Superbird, so we want to stop and see that. So things like that. We just kind of work it all into the week to the weekend, and it just makes for a good time. So that's I don't have any intentions of buying anything, no. But and like I said, to me, there's nothing that really stands out. Yeah, she's planning on going too. So unless something weird happens, but she's planning. So Hayden Tractor Channel's here with us. So, like I said, guys, if you think it'll work, or if you want to sneak over there for a day, or if you're close, holler at me, catch up with us. We can hang out, check things out. But like I said, it's just you're right. It happens. That's right. It's just a good time. That's true, Tim. But like I said, when I went last year, I planned on looking at both those Maseratis. So and like I said, they were cheap, so I had to buy one. Of course, I got Tractor Mike elbowing me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So that's kind of how things work out sometimes. But like I said, regardless, Meekum is always fun. It's a good time, and maybe we'll catch up with some of you guys there. And sometimes there's some of you guys there that just show up and happen to catch me while we're there and say hi, which is great as well. But anyway, that's kind of what we've got coming up. Slide in a Hudson badge for you. We'll do some. I don't know. We'll see if we have time to do a live from there or something. I didn't drive home 80 mile an hour. Remember, I had a tire shaking on it. So but we made it back. I was getting pretty nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was getting pretty nervous. That tire was wobbling pretty bad by the time I got home. But we made it intact. We made it in one piece. So, hey, there's Eric. Made it tonight. Glad you're here tonight, Eric. But anyhow, 79. Oh yeah, I drove 79 miles an hour. I don't know. I wasn't driving that fast. Tractor Mike accused me of driving that fast, but I don't think I was. So, but anyway, lots of other things to go over tonight. So obviously we're going to give away this super killer Hudson can here in a little bit. And we're going to throw in a Texaco quart for the second name out of the can, as well as, of course, 10 entries into the new raffle. We'll talk about the new raffle. We got a badge. We got, there again, going back through the brochure, some killer stuff there. 2 more promos left out of the Chevy promo collection. One tonight, one next week. Story time, which is always fun. And like I said, the story time car tonight actually reminds me of a car that I did see on the docket for next week. And that's kind of one of the reasons I grabbed this one tonight. So let's check out what you guys got going on the No Buddies page. If you're not on the No Buddies page, get over there, check it out, jump on, answer the questions, and either Zach or Andy will get you into the group so you can start hanging out on there. What do you guys have going on? Matt posted a car show video. Sweet. Let's see. Oh, that's a sweet picture of the snow blowing tractor. That is pretty cool. Unfortunately, we're supposed to get a little bit of snow tomorrow, so I hope we don't see too much. Yep, 2 promos left. out of the 49 that we've got that we bought at the auction. So, yep, we're down to 2 tonight and next week. The last 2 promos out of that Chevy collection. And I've only got a handful of promos I bought since then, so I don't know what we're going to do here after the first of the year. We're going to run out of promos unless we start going back through them, because I got a whole bunch in this case that we looked at probably 3 years ago. You guys might not even remember. In fact, there was somebody asking about the Edsel. I got the Edsel in the box over there and a whole bunch of other promos over there that we haven't looked at in years. Maybe we have to start recycling. Old magazines, yeah, old magazines are great. There's no doubt about it. You know, that is a very good point, Matt, about spending your money on race cars. That makes sense. Oh, Randy Ellenberger posted some great pictures. I saw that the other day of a lot of his auction winnings, all of his grease caps hanging up. That looked great. Those were some good pictures. Tractor Mike shockingly buys another tractor. Okay, that's like a normal weekly occurrence. So good stuff on there, guys. I appreciate your participation on there and posting your stuff up. I don't know if Glenn's on with us or not. Glenn got a new truck today. Maybe I'm sure. Watch out. Keep an eye out for Glenn's new truck. I'm sure he'll have it on there here shortly. I don't know if he is on tonight. I haven't seen him comment, but I bet he'll have that truck posted here soon. He got 7 inches last night. I hope we do not get 7 inches tomorrow. So, yeah, if you, AJ, if you can get property taxes and insurance to go down, yeah, we can probably talk about that. But as of right now, property taxes and insurance are going way up every year. So, but anyway, that's kind of what we've got going on the Nobody's page. So if you're not on there, check that stuff out and throw your stuff up there. That's why that's why the Andy and Zach put that page together, was for everybody to share their stuff on there. So thanks, Mike. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that. So anyway, check things off my list. Let's catch, what do we want to do? Oh, man, we got all kinds of auction stuff as well. Hey, JP's back. So anyway, what do we want to do? We got the promo, the badge, auctions, brochure, story time, can, and we're going to give away some cans. So anyway, let's catch the badge. It's right here. The badges, like I said, we have started going back to some of the old enamel badges, which is super cool. And this one is really awesome. Okay, in fact, hey, there's Totally VW. We'll catch story time here in a little bit because we've missed it the last couple weeks. And like I said, this is probably not the car you're expecting it to be off the docket for next week, but it's kind of cool. So we'll do it after the badge. Tonight's badge is one of those that it's so cool that Addy made its own little display block for it. It's pretty impressive, I think. Yeah, it started doing that a couple weeks ago, Totally VW. Nobody knows why, but it started doing that a couple of weeks ago. This particular badge, which I love, I think it's absolutely awesome, is from the mid-20s from the Indiana Motor Truck Company. And this thing is awesome. Indiana Motor Trucks, excuse me. They were in business. Well, they actually changed corporations a couple times from 1911 to 1939. The Indiana was an assembled truck. The first Indiana truck was a 4-cylinder, 1.5-ton truck with a 4-speed transmission and double chain drive, which continued in production through 1912. In 1913, 1914, the Indiana truck range was expanded to include 1-ton, 2-ton, and 3-ton models, all chain driven, like the big chain Max. Indiana truck production increased rapidly, and 600 trucks were built for the U.S. military during World War I. By 1920, the Indiana plant had grown, and the range of trucks had expanded from 1.5 to 5-ton capacity. 4,000 trucks were assembled in 1920 alone. A 7-ton capacity model was added by 1923. So you think about, they had a crazy banner year. They built 4,000 trucks. So, but anyway, this badge here is awesome. Check this one out, guys. How's this for a badge? I'm sure some of you guys are going to remember this one. And this thing is pretty big. 4 inches by 2 1/4, or actually 2 3/8. 4 inches, 2 3/8. This is all original. It's chipped right here by this screw, and that's it. This is mid-20s. Hey, there's baling wire. Yeah, this one isn't going anywhere. Actually, I'm pretty sure 50 wouldn't touch what we gave for it. I don't remember what it was, but I know this one wasn't cheap, but it's an amazing one. The hearts are flowing like a river, so that tells me something that you guys are digging it. Yeah, we're trying to, Steve. So yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, some of these ones that Addie really liked, she made little boards for them, and then she's got 1 or 2 larger boards. But this one got its own. And I think you guys can see why. It's pretty killer. So that's what we've got for tonight, the Indiana motor truck. So obviously, based on the feedback, you guys don't mind seeing some of these again. Of course, some of you guys have probably never seen them. You know, we did some of these 3 or 4 years ago. So it's probably, some of you guys have probably never seen these. So, yep. So it's fun reworking through some of these. Glad you guys are enjoying it. Let's catch story time, since we haven't done that in a while. And then we'll give away some cans, and we're going to do some auction stuff. How about that? Then we'll catch the promo model, one of the 2 that are left. We'll check out another can and do the hubcap and things like that. Appreciate that, Austin. Awesome. Have not seen it, and being an Indiana boy, it's now on your fine list. Yeah, it's great. Alex over swinging at $1.25. Still ain't gonna let it go, but it's man, it's beautiful. It's a great piece. All right, on to story time. This is a car that Dad did in spring of 1982. Yes, Balin Wire, we did talk about Meekum for quite a bit. Are you going to make it this year? We talked about that earlier. Yes, it is a Buick, actually. This particular car, we got all kinds of paperwork in here, so this one's going to be kind of fun. Sold it in April of 82, so this was probably bought. Most of these were around 2 or 3 months. We're going to find out right around the beginning of 1982. And I really kind of forgot how sharp these cars were until I got the pictures out and really started looking at them again. Hey, there's Leo. On the 1978 Buick LeSabre Coupe. Oh, Balin Wire is going to be helping move cars. Sounds great. We'll have to catch up with you while we're there. So Balin Wire will be at Meekum, Kansas City. You know, you don't see a LeSabre Coupe anymore. So this one, I was like, man, when I got the pictures back out, 2-tone green, I was like, this is actually a pretty darn sharp car. You know, kind of really forgot how sharp those 2 doors were. Very similar platform to the 77 Riviera that Dad just bought. In fact, I think it's basically the same platform. So this car was essentially 4 years old at that point. So this would be like flipping a 2021 today. Oh, nice, Steve. That's cool. Especially Bucket's console. So let's go through the paperwork and learn a little bit more about this LeSabre coupe. As always, Dad has full work orders on all this stuff that he did. And remember, this car was 4 years old, and this was the work order for it. '79 Caprice two-door, that'd be the big back window, the 77 to 79. Those are good-looking cars as well. So let's go through the work list, and then let's go through the tickets. R&R hood molding, R&R distributor rotor, wheel centers, wheel opening moldings, body work. This must have been wrecked or something. We're going to find out. We'll see what it says. Oh, Dad says it was an oil field car. So it probably had a lot of hard miles on it in 4 years being an oil field car. Timing gear and chain, detailed trunk, install 4 wheels, repair exhaust, R&R coolant hoses, flush cooling system, air and fuel filter, overhaul starter, overhaul alternator, change transmission oil, transmission shift shaft seal, which is very common in those, oil change, undercoat, install AM/FM stereo, tune up, shampoo interior, service differential, mount and balance 4 tires, and then the newspaper ad and sell it. So let's go through lots of paperwork on this one, which is fun. All these tickets, we're going to learn something about this car with all these tickets. Buick wheel center caps. Radiator hoses. Pipe clamp from the muffler shop. Oh, so Dad two-toned this. So this was originally just a light green car, which that makes a whole different car out of that. Because this was obviously just one color, light green. He two-toned it with the darker green against it. Which probably changed that car completely. Timing gear and chain set. Odometer statement from when Dad bought it. Carb kit, float. 1 quart of Ditzler. So that was probably a quart of acrylic enamel. $5.90, 18 cents for tax, $6.08 for a quart of Ditzler. That's true. That's about what the empty can costs. That's about right. Let's see. This was probably the two-tone. I'm guessing that 1 quart was probably touch-up on the light green because we've got 2 quarts of Ditzler here. So this was probably the darker green to two-tone it with, and it was a little more pricey. Not sure if why it was the price difference, but this color was quite a bit more. $9.35 a quart. So I'm betting this was probably the two-tone to go all the way around it. That other one was probably some of the light green to touch up with. $9.35 a quart. 1 gallon of, I'm not sure what those other ones are. 3220 and 1845 for probably one a sealer, one a reducer. Yeah, paint and sealer. So yeah, one of these is probably a sealer. One of them is a reducer. 32 and 18 bucks a gallon. Something from the glass shop. It looks like a mirror, but I can't make it out. I think it says one car mirror, $4. That was pretty tough to read. I'm guessing that was probably a bench. Oh, rear axle lubricant for the rear end service. Shampoo interior. Oh, here's the receipt from when he bought it. It was clear at the back. Let's see. Let's check this out. I was wondering why this wasn't in here. It usually is. March of 81. So actually this car was around for about a year. It was a replacement mirror glass. It was a bench seat. So this car was around for about a year. Don't remember it being around for about a year. March of 81. So this was a 3-year-old used car in 81, and it was $1,800. So, bought this in March of 81, sold it April of 82, so it was right at a year. And let's see, their newspaper ad is in here as well. 1978 Buick LeSabre Custom 2-door, excellent condition, well equipped, safety inspected. And that was March 28th of 82. $3.90 for the ad. That's what I was figuring. That's what we did drive for a while. I don't really remember driving that car much or riding in it, but that's the one I seen, Tim. That's what reminded me to do this car. That is exactly the car I saw on the docket, and that's why I thought we'll talk about a LeSabre tonight. Because I knew this one was coming up. I knew it was in there. I'd seen the pictures and I'd seen the paperwork, so I knew we were going to get to it eventually. But that's what tipped me off to do it, was that the one that's running Thursday. Sold in April of 82 for $4,000 and a 72 Duster. So drove it for a year, made some money on it, sent it down the road, and that's kind of the way things were back then. But there again, kind of forgot that they were, pretty darn decent looking cars. You don't see them very often anymore, especially a coupe. And really, those are pretty sharp little cars. So anyway, we hadn't done a story time in a few weeks, so definitely wanted to squeeze that one in, especially since I was thinking about it since I seen that one on the docket. So glad you enjoyed it, Kevin. Yeah, but that was at that time, that was a 4-year-old car. So that was probably pretty decent, probably a pretty fair deal. Go buy something that's a 2021 for that now. Yeah, Dad bought it for $1,800, needing some work. The guy I sold to, they drove for another 100,000 miles, so they got a lot of use out of that thing. But you think about that, he bought it for $1,800, needing work, and you look at some of this stuff from 2021 today. Some of that stuff, a taillight's $1,000 today on some of this stuff. He bought the whole car for $1,800. I don't think they put diesels in LeSabres. I know they put them in 88s. I don't know if they put the diesel in a LeSabre or not. Does anybody know for sure? I don't remember Buick having diesels. I know that was Oldsmobile and Cadillac, but I don't remember. I think they did make some Buick diesels. I think they did. Now that I think about it, I think the diesel was available in Buicks as well. So just not something you see very often. Unless you go to Tractor Mike's, then you can see a diesel Monte Carlo. Who's seen one of those? Tractor Mike, he's kind of one of those. Tractor Mike, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Tractor Mike is a closet 5'7", 6'2" guy. What do you think of that? Yep. We'll just call Tractor Mike our resident 5'7", 6'2" guy. How about that? Except the Duramax. So, Duramaxes are not Tractor Mike's friend right now. So, see, Tractor Mike is a closet 5'7", 6'2" lover. But yeah, there is, and I'm dead serious when I say that. There is a diesel Monte Carlo in Tractor Mike's shed right now. I've seen it. So anyway, let's give these cans away and let's auction some stuff off. Should have bought a Cummins. There you go. All right, let's give away the Hudson can, and I didn't know how entries were going until I just tallied them up, like literally at 6:45 tonight. I would believe the fact the doors haven't been opened in 20 years on it. Dad said it was just 80 for Buick, so maybe it was just a 1980 deal for Buick diesels, but they were available. 5'7" and 6'2" blondes. That sounds like a pretty good plan, actually, John. I'll second that. But we know for Tractor Mike, it's really 5'7" and 6'2" diesels. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the raffle. Let's give this stuff away. So I didn't really tally everything up. I didn't really know where we're at. We did have pretty decent participation this month. Not as good as the steering wheel. But I definitely felt we needed to do another can. I didn't have time to go really do any digging, but I had a couple that I was going to auction tonight, so I'm going to give one of those away on a Texaco Court. It's got some paint loss, but the front part where you see looks pretty good with good color, so it's kind of a cool can, so we're going to give it away as well. But What's my phone doing? So anyway, we're going to go through and check out what who's in right now and give some stuff away. Diesel goggles, that's right. Yeah, Tractor Mike has been fighting his Duramax. So yeah, Duramax is not Tractor Mike's favorite word right now. I can definitely vouch for that. So anyway, who's in for this last batch? I've got Mark Talene, Randy Caldwell, Sean and Christine, Ron Levesque, Michael Glagola, John Sanderson, and Dennis Chapman. So we had the first packet earlier. That's the second packet. And let me grab my auction notepad so I can keep my notes up on this and keep track of this stuff. Oh. And let's give some stuff away. Hudson badge. Got all those names in there, ready to go right now. All these names in here, ready to yank one out. So we're ready, guys? And like I said, this Hudson can, it's definitely faded. This is supposed to be mostly orange, kind of like we got down here, a brighter orange. However, we can see the race cars, we can see the airplanes, we can see the tanker trucks, all kinds of cool stuff on that can. Very rare. Condition is mid, but it is a hard to find can. And it's going to somebody else's collection here in just a few seconds. Here we go, guys. Detroit Rednecks here. All right, I think I'm down to one. I got one. Here we go. What do we got? Ron Levesque. Yes, Hot Rod Camaro is Pete. Now, I've got this other Texaco court that, like I said, was kind of a last-minute deal because I didn't really know where we were at on the raffle, but I had this one here. It's got some paint loss, but it's still pretty cool. Still a good-looking can. It's just got some paint loss over here on the side. But the front right there, the Texaco motor oil still looks good. Has the swoops all the way around the can. So let's give this Texaco away. And then we're going to draw for some names gonna draw for free entries into next month's raffle. Talk about next month's raffle. Then I'm going to move the auction pile this way. All right, Texaco Court. And as always, Ron's out. The big winner's out. Let's see what we got this time. What do we got here? Randy Ellenberger. on the Texaco court. All right, one more. The next name out. Those are some big wide eyes there, Randy. 10 free entries into next month's raffle. Here we go. Ron and Randy are out. As long as if we draw one of their names, we will draw again. So we do have 3 winners. Aiden Henderson. Some new friends of ours that stopped by a couple weeks ago. 10 entries into next month's raffle. So, great month tonight, guys. I'm glad we had fun. That is such a cool can. Even though condition is just mid on it, you just don't see it. You just don't see it. So, we're going to get that court headed to Randy, and we're going to get Aiden's name right back in for next month's raffle. So, what is next month's raffle? Well, I thought about that. I mean, we tossed a lot of different ideas around. I've had something laying here that I bought at an auction probably 6 months ago that I've really been on the fence about whether it was going to get kept or not. And I was thinking about this being December, Christmas time, and looking at this thing. It was still in the box from when I got it at the auction. I hadn't put it up yet. When I bought it, I was on the fence, and I thought, well, it's been 6 months, and I haven't put it up yet. And I got to thinking when I was looking at it this afternoon, weighing, trying to debate between a couple of different ideas. And then it kind of hit me, and I was like, you know what? This is kind of appropriate. Because sometime 70 years ago, probably back in the mid-50s, some kid probably opened this for Christmas. And that's like, that just kind of, to me, seems appropriate. Now, we won't give this away till right after Christmas, but I thought this was going to make somebody a really great Christmas present, just like it did probably 70 to 75 years ago. So that's what made me decide to go with this for the December raffle. $70 or $75 ago, some kid probably opened this on Christmas morning, and right after Christmas, one of you guys is going to win this and add it to your collection on this original paint cab over Wyandotte Wrecker. Man, that thing looks good. Maybe I should keep this. That thing, I see that on the screen and shining like that. I was like, holy wow. I'm starting to second guess myself, but I don't know. Man, that thing looks good. Can you guys not unsee that maybe or something? Yeah, I know. That's what. And when I seen it, and I'm not kidding you guys, when I seen this thing shining in the screen, I was like, wow. I got to buy my own raffle tickets. And it could be late 40s. Look at the nose on this thing. See, and that's the one thing I was going to mention, Austin. I think these rear wheels have been painted. The fronts, I think, are original. When we look at the front wheels, see how they're kind of worn from being played with a little bit? The rears don't have as much wear, and they're brighter. I'm going to say, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to tell you guys the rears have been repainted. I think the rest of it is original. I mean, obviously, it's still got the Wyandotte lettering on it. Somebody just put a piece of string on the winch cable. So there's not really an actual winch cable. Somebody just put a piece of string on it. But that is the original boom. The original handle is right over here on the side to crank it with. So, yeah. I'm definitely probably second guessing my decision at this point now that I see it all nice and shiny on the screen. But yeah, it could be late 40s, 75, 80 years old possibly. So that's what we've got for this month's raffle. So you guys can kind of see where some kids 75 years ago opened this on Christmas morning, and you can kind of see why that seemed to make sense to do it this month. That's right. Get your entries in now. Take down Ron's can here. And put up the record. All right. I guess that takes care of this month's raffle. We will give that away. When are we going to give that away? We'll see how things shake out. The 28th is a Sunday or the 4th. The 1st is on a Thursday. So the 28th or the 4th, we'll see how things shake out. I'll study that a little bit more and see how things fall. So we'll do it on December 28th or January 4th. I don't know yet for sure. So who's ready for auctions? We ready for auctions? Oh, I guess it's time for this part. And we're ready to go for next month. Ron's always ready. Let me get the boxes moved over here and get ready to go. All right, now to get over the pile. Okay. Now, before we get too far in the auction, there's a Wyandotte, Alec. I didn't see that a second ago. It's a Wyandotte brand. As always, we'll go 90 seconds. We'll slide a few flash auctions in on you, where we go 1 minute and we just roll with it. 90 seconds. We'll show you something. We'll talk about it. We'll show you that piece. We'll point out any damage. We'll talk about that particular car. We may give you some dimensions on some of this stuff. As we're doing that, if you want to throw a bid out there, go ahead, so I know we've got some interest in it. After that, we will throw it on a timer right here on my phone. I keep my phone right next to the comments so I can keep track of the time and the comments. When my phone hits 90 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds, at that point, the high bid I see, whether it is here or here on Facebook or YouTube, will be the winner. Shipping, we got pretty much all small stuff. Shipping will be included in the 48 states. And if you're non-U.S. and you want to play, that's fine. You just will have to get me paid in U.S. funds, and you will also be responsible for non-U.S. shipping. This thing kind of feeds itself. So if we spend a fortune shipping something overseas, then it kind of slows the process down for everybody. So anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and dig a few pieces out here and get started. Let me kind of regroup here. We got a lot of plates and cans and grease caps and hubcaps, and holy cow, we got a little bit of everything everywhere. All right. Hearing the jingle. All right, we'll start off with a few small things here to kind of get your feet wet and get a feel for what's going on and get a feel for where the timers are at and if you guys have any delays. All right. Get the timer ready. First up tonight, we have a metal, like a steel Ford grease cap. This one's kind of different. I'm going to guess this is probably truck. The Ford obviously is stamped in it. We can see it in the back, but this I think is steel. It's not an aluminum grease cap. It is external, not internal threads. It does have the hex around the outside. You know, if you painted the Ford blue back in this thing, it would really pop. This particular one is about 2 3/8 in diameter across the front. And it is about almost 2 inches deep. So kind of a little bit different grease cap from our friends at Ford. Let's get a Hudson badge slid in there, and let's get this thing going, and let's get the timer started, and let's sell some stuff. Here we go. Ford grease cap. Ron 10, Kevin L 10. Kevin Brown 11. $30 seconds gone. I got Kevin L at 15. Ron 18. And there's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Ron at 18. Working away towards the end. Ron at 18. Is there a 20 hiding out there? Just about ready to tap it out. And that will do it. Ron at 18. There was our 20 right there. And another 20. I was like, there's no way that can't bring $20. Well, they were in there. They were just too late. Ron snuck it out of there at 18. All right, we got some great plates tonight. We're going to start off with kind of a more common one. Even though it does have some age to it, it's in pretty good shape for its age. It's not the best condition. We've got some cool stuff coming up. Although this one, it's kind of, I think we've sold one of these before. This one's kind of an oxymoron to me, actually. It is a 1954 Colorado, and Colorado was already using the colorful logo on them. The colorful Colorado plate in black and white. Now, obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean the license plates, but Colorado did actually, have very nice plates. The green and white for years with the mountains on them. The colorful Colorado, when you've got green and white and you see mountains, kind of fits. When it's black and white, block letters, black and white, and it's colorful Colorado, it just kind of doesn't make sense. But hey, not my doings. This one was bent at one point right here, and it does have a crack at the top. It's pretty decent on the back, all the original black paint. So it's just kind of ironic that it is a colorful Colorado plate in black and white. It is 12 5/8. By 5 3/4. Sounds good, Tim. Glad you were here. Hudson badge, and away we go on the 1954 colorful Colorado in black and white. Ron at 5. $30 seconds gone. Nobody likes the non-colorful, colorful Colorado, apparently. I've got Alec at 5, and I've got Ron at 5. I had Ron first. Alec at 7. 1 minute gone. Dean at 10. Ron at 11. Just about ready to wrap it up. And that does it. Ron at 11. There they go. Austin 15. Jesse at 12. Ron at 11 is what I had at the 130 mark. Alec had a 12. Hubcap had a 17. There must be a bad lag because there were 3 bids there afterwards, and then Alec was after that too. So Ron kind of got lucky on that one. Okay. We've been having a lot of fun with these, and I'm getting low on them. I've got a few left, but they are getting low on these ashtrays, the tire ashtrays. These things are so awesome. BF Goodrich Silvertown on this one. No advertising in the middle of the tray. Alec said that Facebook doesn't look too bad, so we'll see what happens here on the Goodrich Silvertown ashtray. Nice tread pattern on this, probably a 60s era tire. Kind of a cool piece. Dean at 20. So yeah, go ahead and refresh, guys. I'll give you guys a second to go ahead and hit refresh before we kick off the tire here in just a second. So it was okay. 17 bid was there 17.878 seconds before I ended it. So yeah. So it so there is definitely a lag on getting it to me. That's true. You could put your own name in there. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good idea. Dean at 20. So we could do that. VW at 25. We'll do that for the winner, actually. How about that? VW at 25. We'll put the winner's name in it. It's glass, so you'll be able to scrape it right, clean it right back off. Let's go ahead and get it rolling on the timer. This is a Silvertown 770 on this Goodrich ashtray. Totally VW at 25. $30 seconds gone. Needs a pick of Joe Dirt. That's right. And there's 1 minute, 30 seconds left to go. VW at 25. Will it hold a pipe? I don't know. It's got little notches right here for cigarettes or cigars. I don't know how it would hold a pipe. I'm sure you could probably lean it in there. Put a horn button in the middle. Yeah, you could do that. David D, 27. Coming down to the end. Where are we at? David D at 27. Skippy at 38 as we hit the 130. Or 33, excuse me. Skippy at 33. There we go. How about that? So we put your name on it. So it's just paint marker, so it'll scrape right off. So I'm sure you don't want your own name on it, but it'll come right off. So, but it's definitely yours now. All right, again, another license plate laying here, another couple plates, a regular hubcap, a grease cap. We got a lot of cool stuff. I'm glad you do. It's got your name on it. So let's catch kind of a weird license plate. We've done one or two of these. This one's kind of bent up, but the colors on it are great. You do not see this one very often. That's why we haven't sold very many of them. So this one's kind of clobbered, but man, it still presents well. And when it's up on the wall, it's not going to look bad. On this 1944 wartime Kansas plate. This is original paint, but it is kind of bent up. The back is even original paint. Good colors on the white and red. Now, these were small plates. These were about half size, obviously to conserve metal. So let me grab the tape measure. Not quite, about 3/4 size, I guess. This is about 9 3/4 instead of around 12. And it is about 4 1/4 instead of 6. So these were kind of a not a half plate, but kind of a 3/4 plate, I guess. This is a truck plate. It does have the T on it, so this was a truck. And it's County 38, plate number 380. So that's kind of odd as well. But not one you see very often. Ron's starting us off at 5 on the 1944 wartime Kansas plate. I thought it was a little more popular than this. We'll find out, though. "30 seconds gone." Coming up on the 1 minute mark and nobody else bidding yet. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. I don't think we're done, but hell, I don't know. Nothing yet. Austin at 10. Alec at 10. At Austin first at 10. We're about ready to wrap this one up. Where are we going? Ron at 18. Austin at 20, and that does it. Austin at 20 at the 130 mark, and Mark had 15, Alec had 11, but Austin had a 20 in there to cover that up. I got something coming up next I think Austin's going to like too. Haven't done a hubcap yet tonight, so we're going to do a hubcap next. But real quick, guys, I want you to be thinking, next week, obviously, since we're going to be at Meekum, do we want to do an extended auction next week? We've been talking about it. Do you guys want to do an extended auction? And if so, I actually got some extra stuff ready today. I can go through these boxes, and then hopefully before we leave, if that's what you guys want to do, I can get some more stuff ready, and we can do an extended auction next week. We typically do it 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas anyway, so that would probably be a good weekend to do it. That way I wouldn't have to worry about building the whole episode out. Maybe we can get Tractor Mike to drag some of his stuff along with him if he wants to sell, and maybe try to do an extended auction next weekend. So we're definitely getting some votes for it. We will touch on that a bit later in the show, but thought that might be, will it include a promo? I got to go through some promos and see what I got. That's why I'm asking you guys tonight, because then if I have some time between now and when we leave for Kansas City, I'll try to take a couple hours and go through some stuff and get a pretty good pile of stuff ready. And I know we do need to do some promos if I've got some extras. So that would be on the list to think about, Jeff. So just wanted to throw that out there so you guys can be thinking about it. Her tractor might have some extra Duramax parts. That's a possibility. Hubcaps. We haven't done a hubcap yet tonight. Let's do a Chevy pickup one. This is 67, 68 chrome Chevy pickup cap. It's definitely banged up a bit, dings, dents. I think somebody used more of a fluorescent orange instead of a red around this one. It does have a small crack in the outside edge of it somewhere. At least I thought it did. Oh, it's got a little teeny tiny crack in it right there. But good wall hanger. You know, it's definitely not a show quality cap, but you don't see these very often. I think it's half ton, 10.5 inches in diameter. Backside, you can see where the Chevy stamp logo is stamped in it. So there again, kind of a more uncommon one that you don't see very often, that definitely makes a great wall hanger for the Chevy truck guys. So Austin at 25. As we get this thing rolling on the timer, Austin in there right out of the gate. And I'm going to start lining up a couple more pieces here. Auction off the diesel Monte Carlo. I don't have any enamel badges tonight, Alec. I know that. We do have some regular emblems over here that we need to do. Coming up on the 1 minute mark already. I'm trying to drag some stuff out to keep going here. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Austin at 25, and nobody's messing with him. You guys are going to let him have it that easy? Mike can bring his co-op kids. Yeah. We're about ready to wrap this one up, and nobody's messing with Austin at all. 59, I'll go 26, and that does it. Oh, he got sniped right at the end. He came back at 30, but it was too late. Alec had a 32. 26 got it done. So, I believe that's Weston. Yeah, that everybody was just kind of sitting there waiting, and Alec took a shot too, but it was just too late. Yep, Austin got sniped, that's for sure. I don't. They're all doing that in the last couple of weeks. Not sure what's going on with the names. We haven't done a can yet tonight, so let's do a can. It's kind of it didn't clean up quite as well as I was hoping, but it's still kind of cool. So, yeah, no problem, Kevin. That's exactly what I figured you were doing. Wasn't worried about it a bit. I figured that's exactly what you were doing. Hudson badge. So we're going to go ahead and do this can, even though it didn't clean up quite as well as I was hoping for. It is a metal quart, and it's antifreeze, but I love the icicles. It's just there was one bad spot that I was hoping was going to come out better, and it didn't. Shell Zone antifreeze. I was hoping a little more of this was going to come out because look at the icicles over here and the color on it. Obviously, the shell looks great. We just have some color loss right here on the Shell Zone. The back where it has the chart has some surface rust down at the bottom. But, of course, we don't look at the back of them anyway when they're up on the shelf. This is empty. It was punched, old church key style. It is actually a steel metal can. We can still see the seam on it right there. So, like I said, didn't clean up quite as well as I was hoping for. But I still thought it was cool and figured one of you guys might dig it. It is a 1 quart size. Let's get her rolling. And here we go. On the Shell Zone quart with icicles. Kevin L at 10. Hey, there's Billy stopping by. Austin, 15. Just past the 30-second mark, heading up to the 1 minute. One minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. I bet Austin's getting nervous now. Ron, 22. Kevin L, 20. I got Ron at 22. We got a few seconds left. Austin, 25. Kevin L, 25. And that does it. I had Austin at 25 ahead of Kevin L. Ron had a 26, but it was too late. Austin at 25. Oh. All right, let's shake it up a bit. How are we going to shake it up a bit? Flash auction. We're live. 60 seconds on a 1976 South Dakota bicentennial plate. 60 seconds. Red, white, and blue across the top. It has the 77 sticker on it, but this was obviously the bicentennial plate. 60 seconds flash auction. This is a printed plate on metal. Jesse, 10. Austin, 20. It's cut up a little bit on the bottom here. I've got Austin at 20. This is a killer plate. Mount Rushmore, stars and stripes across the top, red, white, and blue. Great looking plate. Austin at 20. I thought it was a cool piece. Flash auction, 60 seconds. 30 seconds are gone. 30 seconds left. We're halfway through. If you want to bid on it, throw it out there. I've got Austin at 20 on the bicentennial South Dakota plate from the mid-70s. We're coming down to the wire already. Kevin Brown, 22. David D, 23. Dean, 21. 23 is my high bid. We've got a few seconds left to go. Jesse, 24. Dean, 24. Austin, 25 is my high bidder. Couple seconds left. Kevin Brown, 29. And that does it. Kevin Brown's 29 gets it done. Alec had a 35. Everything over here was, what do we have? Everything there. Alec would have had it, but he ran out of time by just a few seconds. That one was close, but when we do the flash auctions, it shakes everything up a bit. Chai Savage is back. Kevin Brown at 29. Alec almost got you. I mean, like by a second and a half, you got that. I mean, I called it to you at 29, and it hit 1 minute, and boom, Alec popped up. It was that close. So, yep, going home. Oh, great. That figures. You got to redesign your tool trays. Totally VW was nervous. It is, Alec. We started doing them about a month ago. We go 60 seconds on them, and we just ram them out there, throw it up, and go with it. It kind of breaks things up, shakes it up a little bit. So, yep, it is something different. We'll do 2 or 3 of them while we're doing auctions, just for something different. So, yep, that's what the flash auction thing is, Alec. So, yeah, you weren't prepared either. So, Kevin got lucky on that one. All right, let's catch a grease cap. Dodge Brothers. This is kind of a good-looking cap. Oh, that's good. This is a fairly ornate Dodge Brothers. All this around here, yeah, we've probably just been doing those the last month or so, Alec. It is relatively new, and we only do a couple of them of a night. So even if you jumped on and didn't catch one, that may have been why. The DB is stamped in it. We can see it on the backside. Internal threads back here. This has hex around the backside of it, so the outside perimeter is all round. But this is a fairly ornate one. It appears as though the inserts of these little pieces around the outside perimeter were black. And I would imagine the inserts of the DB were probably black as well. It is about 3 7/8 outside diameter. but kind of an ornate cap. Skippy at 25. This one does have a few dents in it, but it still presents well, and that's these are cool decorator pieces. So kind of a neat cap. Skippy at 25. We're live, ready to go. Just past the 30-second mark. Skippy at 25. Slide in a Hudson badge there for you guys. One minute gone, 30 seconds left to go, and I bet you guys are making Skippy nervous. That's right, all in dynamite. We're ticking away. We're coming down to the end. Ron, 29. Nut Farm, 30. Pete, 36. And that does it. Pete at 36. Kind of figured that might happen. Anybody want to do Mopar emblems? The drinker I get, the drunker you look at. Makes perfect sense. Okay, we'll give you another Hudson badge, and we'll give you an Auburn badge. Anybody want to do Mopar emblems? Oh, the ad got you. Yep, that happens sometimes. Mopar emblems, anybody? You want the big badge? Austin wants the big badge. All right, we'll do a batch of Mopar emblems, and then we're going to we'll give you the big badge. All right, let's do a batch of Mopar emblems. This is, I think, 70s era stuff. Three emblems. These are all metal. Sell the Texaco can for Pioneer adoptions. We can do that. Oh, whoa, check that out. Hold up. Hold up on that car wash, gentlemen. We got a super chat from Skippy. Supercharged super chat badge coming out for Skippy now. Thanks, Skippy. Appreciate it. Boom. Supercharged super chat. Thanks, Skippy. Appreciate that. Okay. We're going to auction off the Texaco can from the raffle here in a little bit for Pioneer Village. But first, we're going to do a batch of Mopar emblems from, I think this is 70s era stuff. It is all metal stuff. One of these might be 80s. This one might be 80s because it was double-sided tape, but it is metal, so I think it was aluminum on this New Yorker badge. This one is, it was gold, trimmed out in gold, 7 inches long on the New Yorker. This next one, this is actually kind of a neat emblem, even though it's not the most popular car. When you look at the emblem, it's kind of neat. Newport with the big badge on this end of it. And this is a pop metal emblem, stud mount. It was gold over here on the badge part of it. I mean, a Newport isn't the most popular car, but it's kind of a cool looking badge. And it is about 8 inches long. One more in this group, and this is also kind of cool. For our van fans, I think this is van, the Sportsman, mid to late 70s Dodge van. This is once again a big pop metal emblem. Got the bars down here with the frat zog, stud mount, pop metal, chrome plated. I'm guessing the Newport's probably early to mid 70s. And the Sportsman is about 10 and a quarter. So a little over 10 inches long. So you're getting all of them, all 3 of them, just kind of a cool Mopar bundle. And let's get this thing rolling. We're live. What do you guys think on the Mopar emblems? Alec at 10, Hubcap at 5, Mark at 10. I've got Alec on Facebook first at 10. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Nut Farm, 20. Just past the 1 minute mark. Nut Farm at 20. About ready to wrap this one up. Nut Farm at 20. And that did it. Nut Farm at 20. There's Skippy at 26. Kevin at 24. Tape these back together so they don't get separated. And per Austin's request, the big badge. The front bumper badge for a 1934 Auburn Salon with a 12-cylinder. Haven't had this one out in a while. I don't think since Mark had it out a few weeks ago. This is definitely a here you go, Austin. Definitely not one you see very often. Reports vary on the production of this. If you haven't seen this badge before, hey, there's Tweedly D. But they made this car in both a Phaeton and a Cabriolet. When you talk about rarity, that a lot of people throw the word rare around, and it does get used a lot. But this particular car, like I said, the reports vary on the Cabriolets. It is believed that there were 8 Phaetons built. Now, the Cabriolet number varies a little bit. Some people say 4, some people say 6. So, not extremely common. Somewhere between 12 and 14 cars use this badge. So, there you go, the big badge. Oh, let's see. I got another license plate and another grease cap out here, plus the can that Nut Farm donates back. And then we'll see where we're at. How's that sound, guys? Going back 92 years to 1933. And this is a pretty decent looking plate for a 33. Take a look at this, guys. Let me know what you think. 33s were a pretty sharp plate. Blue and white. This is a really straight plate. Backside looks, pretty good. A little bit of paint loss on the white letters and numbers, but it's 92 years old. So this is one of the long and narrow Kansas plates. 14 and a half. Market 10. By about 4 3/8. Reno County. County number 6. Plate 1548. Reno County down around Hutchinson, Kansas. And I've got Mark at 10. And here we go. Waycamp 15. Tractor Mike 17. He's just bidding because Waycamp bid. 30 seconds gone. Waycamp 20. Tractor Mike at 19. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Waycamp at 20. Coming down to the end on this one. Waycamp at 20. Ron 23. Mark 25, and that does it. Alec had a 30, and it was too late again. Mark at 25, it went 130, and at 132, Alec had a 30. Alec needs to back it up by about 2 seconds. Okay, we still got grease cap guys on here. Anybody want to do one more grease cap? We got a grease cap we've never sold before. I'm almost positive we've never done this one before. So we got to have some grease cap buyers on here for something like that. We got grease cap guys here. Let's have a Hudson badge while we think about it. We're ready for a grease cap that I don't think we've ever had on here before. You guys ready for this? You were close, Alec. I mean, you were like that close. You've been that close the last 2 times. Check this out. Nut Farm is thinking. McLaughlin Buick, Canadian Buick. Yeah, it's a different one. About 3 1/4 internal threads. We can see it stamped through there on the back. This was originally black behind it. Nut Farm 30. Across the hex, it is about 2 5/8 across the hex. Yep, you're right, David D. So, kind of an interesting piece. Not one that we see very often. But a pretty unique one. So there we go, guys. Definitely a different one. Definitely one we haven't seen before. Nut Farm out there with 30 right out of the gate. The Buicks actually said Buick in the square, but these McLaughlins didn't. It just used the symbol. Buick used something similar to this in the early 30s, and it did say Buick in the square, but these McLaughlins do not. "30 seconds gone. Nut Farm at 30. And it's all crickets. "1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Nut Farm at 30. Ron, 33. The plate you got, Mark, was a 1933. We're taking away. I've got Ron at 33. This one might get interesting. Definitely not one you see very often. Nut Farm, 40. And that did it. Nut Farm at 40. All right, let's auction off the Texaco can. And this is just going to go into the Pioneer Village Fund. Courtesy of Randy with the Nut Farm. So you guys all saw it. The front part presents well. It just has paint loss over here on the side. It is used, had the spout punched right in the top of it. It is a metal can. We still see the seam over here. Bottom is intact. So, Nut Farm says throw this in the auction and put the money into the Pioneer Village Fund. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with that, we've been raising money for the last couple of years to adopt some cars at Pioneer Village. If you haven't been to Pioneer Village, you need to be there. If you don't know what it is, check out the Pioneer Village playlist on the channel and check out some of the cool stuff they've got there. Absolutely amazing place, amazing collection, and huge shout out to the Nut Farm for throwing this one back into the auction for Pioneer Village. So, let's get rolling on this one. We'll do the same thing. We'll go regular 90 seconds on it, just like a normal piece. Just whatever the final bid is, that receipt will go in with the Pioneer Village file for those car sponsorships when they come back up next year. So, which is around the corner. But anyway, we're live on the timer. There's the Hudson badge. Let's go ahead and get this one started. Pete at 50. Pete throwing a big number out there, but it's all going to a good cause for the Pioneer Village Fund. And coming up on the 1 minute mark, Pete may be our big donor right out of the gate. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Kevin, 55. Austin 60. All going to a good cause, guys. And that does it. Austin at 60. Kevin came back at 65 a little late, but like I said, that's all in good fun going into the Adopt a Car program for Pioneer Village. Now, that's actually, something good. We haven't talked much about Pioneer Village lately. And like I said, guys, if you haven't been there, be there. They are working on the hotel again. If they get the hotel up and going, maybe next year, there is always a possibility of a nobody's meetup at Pioneer Village. They have had some changes there. I do need to call up there. Our good friend Will Escarza, who we did several videos with, he did resign and move back to Arizona. He had some things that he needed to take care of back then, which I absolutely don't blame him for one bit. So they've got somebody new in there right now. So we'll have to see. I'll need to call up there and see what we need to do. But I do know one thing Will did tell me about is they are working on getting something going with the hotel again. So that is in process. Hopefully we'll know something on that sometime soon. And we can maybe get something put together to go up there. So that's what we're trying to do, is generate funds to help with their Adopt a Car program for museum maintenance. Now, why do we want to go up there? 300 cars. They've got a hotel. They just have to do some refurbishing and some maintenance and some things like that. But they do have one. But it's an awesome place. If you haven't checked them out, check out some of the content we do. We do actually have a playlist from Pioneer Village on the channel. We've done so much content up there. Absolutely amazing collection. You guys have got to check it out. If you haven't been on and haven't been with us when we've discussed it before, check those videos out. Go there, check it out, be there. It's an amazing collection. That's the only way that I can put it. And everybody on here who has been there, is pretty much in complete agreement. So anyway, what else we got tonight? We got a few more things to catch. Pete's got a copy of Sister Clara's Letters. That's a great book, which is amazing. We've done some content with that book. What's amazing about that is Sister Clara helped put this collection together starting in the early 50s. So it is amazing what they were finding, what they were buying, what they were paying for it. In the early 50s, it was crazy. Hold on, we got a situation. Okay, I'm back. Baling wire was right. Yep, it was. They were going at it. A couple of them were going at it. So I kicked the lights on, and they all dispersed fairly rapidly. Anyway, these auction boxes are not good when I'm trying to get out of here quick, though. So, okay, let's see what else we got to do. We got a couple things we want to catch yet tonight. Oh wow, coming up on 2 hours already. Let's we got to do the promo. Let's catch the can of the promo and then see where we're at. Let me move this pile back out of the way here. Okay, let's catch the can. It's right here. Then we'll catch the second to the last promo out of the Chevy collection, and then we'll see where we're at. Tonight's can. If you want to get out your American Oil Cans book, we're going to go to page number 31 in the American Oil Cans identification book. This is kind of a cool can. I actually kind of like this. I think it's funny. If you're on page 31, we're going to look at can number 199 from the Conklin Company in Shakopee, Minnesota. From the 1980s, in a composite can, we have a quart of synthetic moly motor oil Convoy. Dark of the Moon on the 6th of June in a Kenworth hauling logs. Cab over Pete with a reefer on. Yeah. Convoy motor oil, the 25,000 mile oil. Holy cow. Like I said, Conklin products, Conklin label on the side. This is a new oil stock, full quart. Still has some writing on the top of it. It is a standard size quart, but it is a composite. So this was the cardboard one. They are a sharp can. There's no doubt about it. Convoy synthetic moly motor oil, 25,000 miles or 1 year drain interval. Is that not crazy? In the 80s? That's right, on a Jimmy hauling logs. Now, the value on this can, of course, this was 20 years ago, was only $4, but 20 years ago, this was only a 20-year-old can. This book was written, 02? So these values in this book aren't really 03. So it was written basically in 02. So the values really are irrelevant. Obviously, anybody in here would give $4 for one of those today. So obviously, definitely more than that. But still, these are still not high dollar cans, probably $20 to $40. But it's just so great. It's got the blacktop highway. It's got the mountains, just like you're trucking down the road, and your cab over Pete with a reefer on. The one thing about this, when they wrapped this one, they did kind of get off just a hair on the wrap. And obviously, it's an NOS can, so it was just made that way. But back then, who cared? You stabbed your spout in it, poured it in. This went in the trash. What made this stuff so amazing? 25,000 miles or 1 year drain interval. Improves gas mileage up to 8%. Reduces oil consumption up to 40%. Lessens valve train wear and noise. Provides more compression and power. Eases cold weather cranking. Improves high temperature performance. Exceeds all automobile manufacturers' warranty specifications. Protects engine against sludge and varnish formation through 25,000 miles. Copyright 1977. Now, don't think I'm going to auction this one. I'll see if I can find some more of them, though, because it is a cool can. But one thing about it, 25,000 miles or 1 year drain intervals still does not affect or does not control dirt. Kevin's grandpa was a Conklin salesman. How about that? That's awesome. So pretty amazing stuff for 1977. It did it all. Just ask it. So yeah, it is a sharp can, good colors, and it's hilarious because it's Convoy. Obviously coming out, in 1977, absolutely playing on the movie and the song. No doubt about that whatsoever. Okay, let's catch this promo. I know you guys have been waiting for this. Second to last, and these last couple are pretty good. I must admit, if I do say so myself, the last couple are pretty good. Ready? Yes, believe it or not, and you don't see these promos very often. And when you do, they're expensive and they're hard to buy. But yes, there was actually, even out of all those promos, there was even a C2 Corvette. In Rally Red, the 1965 Corvette convertible factory dealer promo. You very rarely see these. Austin just bought him some Convoy cans. Black interior. As with all these Chevy promos, condition is second to none. No boxes, but condition is second to none. Original tires, original hubcaps. The bumpers aren't chipped. The lights are there. Even the backup lights are still there. The heart, there's another river of hearts going. Even the front bumper corners aren't chipped off. We see the Corvette dash and interior. You just don't see a lot of C2 promos. They don't come up very often, especially in outstanding condition like this one. So, yep, there was even a C2 in there, believe it or not. And there it is. It probably is, Austin. But it's definitely a pretty car. It even has the rally flags. I don't know if you guys will be able to make it out or not, but it actually has the Corvette badge and the rally flags on, what would be the fuel filler door. So fairly well detailed. Of course, the bottom side, not very well detailed. One piece of injection molded plastic, but still not bad. It does actually show the independent rear suspension. It shows it, doesn't show the standard diff back there. Does appear like it's got a 4-speed in it. You see the true dual exhaust all the way back, the spare tire carrier clear in the back of the car. On the 65 Corvette. Good thing you sent that to me, Kevin, and not Addie. No, Addie wants one. Addie wants one bad. She wants a Pacer or a Gremlin bad. So one more to go. What's it going to be? Obviously, this one was pretty good. The Impala SS427 convertible last week was pretty good. We've had some pretty neat stuff here lately. So, one more. And then, what should we do after we do the last one? Should we do a whole episode? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do like a whole episode where we set them all out. I'll do like a full video where I line them all up and go back through them all again. Maybe we'll do that after we do the last one next week. So maybe that'll be a way we can kind of line them up and kind of go through and back through them all again. Yeah, and yeah, I think we'll do that. I think that's a good idea. I'll set up a couple tables and just set them all out, and we'll just walk through them all and be like a posted Toy Tuesday video where we can kind of recap all of those Chevy promos from that collection. That was a fun day. Not something you get to see very often. I bet I can probably find those pictures. I know about when it was. It was pretty cool being at the auction. Yeah, here we go. That was the table at the auction from a little over a year ago. No, Austin, I really don't. I would have to look that other stuff up. And are you going to go to Kansas City next weekend, or do I need to ship it? So this was all 84 of them. And we've only got 49 of the 84. Hey, Sean and Christine are here. Glad you made it. Even if it's later on, at least you made it. Okay, sounds good, Austin. So yeah, we'll have to sit all those out and check them out when and go through that and take a look at all of them again. It's been we started over a year ago, and there's some great stuff in there. The Chevy pickups, the Super Sport Chevelles, the Super Sport Impalas, the 58 Impala convertible, the Impala station wagons. 59 and 60 Impala wagon promos, that type of stuff you just don't see. In fact, the wagons we grabbed on our first choice. So there's just a lot of cool stuff that you guys may not even remember that, as far as going back through that stuff and checking it all out. So anyway, it was fun. It was cool to go to that auction. It was fun to see it, be part of it. And, and the fact that, Dad and I were able to bring over half of them home is pretty cool as well. Anyway, let's catch a grease cap and some brochures, and then we'll be about ready to wrap up. Tonight's grease cap is kind of an odd duck. From Ransom Eli Oldsmobile. Check this one out, guys. It's kind of like they just threw the R, the E, and the O on there. Oh, 60 Impala promo. That's cool. I don't remember if there was. It seems like there was a 60, but I know there's a 61 other than the 60 wagon. But this is kind of a different one. I've got a gold 70 Chevelle SS promo, but it's not for sale. But I do have one. So this is kind of different, and it's thick. This is still dirty on the back, but look how thick this edge is. This actually has some meat to it. I wasn't able to positively identify a year on it. It doesn't really have a hex. It's got kind of a triangle to get a hold of it because it is internal threads like all of these are. It's a little bit smaller as well. Just under 3 inches across the wide part on the back. So almost 3 inches at the big area. And across the front part, it's only about 2 inches. Whoa, come back here. Across this area here. So pretty unique grease cap from our friends at Rio. Definitely different. Kind of curious if I'll be able to come up with a year on this one. I did a little bit of looking, but couldn't come up with anything just right, without on some basic research. But definitely a very unique grease cap. Let's go ahead and catch a brochure, and then we'll probably be ready to wrap up. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it. Well, I'm glad you guys did. I'm glad you guys made it for a bit. Now, as you guys know, when it comes to the brochure thing, I've owned these brochures since, let's call it April. It was March or April. Let's call it April. 7 months. We've been looking at these things for 7 months. And to this day, I grabbed one today and I was just like, are you kidding me? This is here. This is in here right now. And it's actually not a brochure. It's more like a flyer. There's like a set of flyers. And it was you just shake your head. You just shake your head that this stuff exists. Let's check it out. Now, back in the late 50s, in the time of mergers and consolidations, there were some weird things happening. As the AMC things was coming together, the Studebaker-Packard merger, all that stuff was happening in the late 50s. And there was some weird stuff that came out of those marriages. And that's kind of, when I opened this up, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because we're all familiar with the well-known and somewhat legendary Studebaker Hawks. They started making them in the mid-50s. They made them up into the early 60s. They were a very sporty car. A company like Studebaker coming out with something like that with the lines, the style, the superchargers, things like that. They were quite a car for their day, really. Then they merged with Packard, and then we got, this is what blew my mind, the Packard Hawk. Yes, this is an original flyer for the Packard Hawk from the Studebaker Packard Corporation. The other Hawks, the Studebaker Silver Hawk, the Studebaker Golden Hawk, but the Packard Hawk from the Studebaker Packard Corporation. Let's see what it says about it. We've got the information over here on the side. Let's get into a little bit of the details real quick. The engine is a Packard 289 V8 overhead valve. 275 horsepower, 333 pounds of torque. 2-barrel carburetor. Kind of odd. However, over here on the other side, we get some cool information. Yes, supercharged. The base engine, that's actually shows 275 horse on the regular. Under the hood of the Packard Hawk is 275 horsepower in the form of a V8 engine of 289 cubic inches with a Jetstream supercharger. Developed and refined for aircraft and long used on automotive engines only in racing cars, the supercharger has now been successfully applied by Studebaker Packard to a family sports car. Thanks, Nut Farm. The Packard 289 is, in effect, two great engines in one. At low speeds and easy cruising on the highway, you have all the economy of an advanced type V8. Then, when you step on the accelerator, the second part of the power team goes into action, and jet-fast acceleration becomes an astonishing reality. The supercharger cuts in automatically as needed. Into 8 cylinders, it rams a super potent mixture of fuel to provide as much as 40% more power than the basic engine has unsupercharged. The tachometer climbs and the car ahead suddenly appears in your rearview mirror, or the hill ahead seems a level plane. Due to the variable drive speed of this centrifugal type supercharger, its power assist automatically meets driving needs. Just tap your foot, you have more power. Peak is 275 at 4,800 RPM. Sounds great, Hippie. Glad you were here. Check that thing out. The Packard Hawk with the supercharged 289. So you can see when I tell you, every time I reach into one of those boxes, I'm amazed. And there is actually a set of these. We're going to go through the rest of these real quick, just for a few minutes. The Packard Hawk is the one that just really just took the cake for me. But they also have a flyer for the Packard sedan. And this one was pretty cool. The Packard station wagon, a new design combining station wagon capacity with limousine luxury and riding ease. And the Packard hardtop. You know, this was pretty much the end of Packard. This would have been around 58, 57, 58. And that pretty much did it for Packard. That's a lot of hearts. So I'm glad you guys are digging this stuff. In fact, I'm going to look in my big red book here real quick. Yes, 58 was the last year for Packard. In fact, and I believe that's what this stuff is actually. And that's exactly what they were, Balin Wire. I think this is 58. In 58, there were 4 models of Packard available. The 4-door sedan, of which 1,200 were produced. So this was the common one. They made 1,200. The hardtop coupe, of which 675 were produced. The wagon, probably never seen one of these because they only made 159 of them. And then back to our Hawk, of which 588 were produced. So, if you look at this batch of flyers for the 58 Packards and say, I've never seen those cars before, that's probably why. They only made about 2,500 total of all of these models. And the hearts are still going. So you guys must think it's pretty cool. There again, I thought it was super neat. I still, like I said, I opened one of those gray boxes and I pulled this stuff out. I hadn't seen this till I went and got something this morning. It is literally 7 months later, and it's surprise after surprise after surprise in this sales literature collection. So once again, can't thank Kerry enough for thinking of me when he needed to downsize his collection, to add this to my collection, be able to share it all with you guys. We're learning about this stuff just like this. They made 159 of them total. You just don't see this stuff. And having access to this, that's what starts these conversations. That's why we get the big red book out and look some of this stuff up, because we're all learning. I'm learning, you're learning. Some of this stuff, especially in this weird time when AMC was coming together, the Studebaker-Packard merger, things like that, there was a lot of this weird stuff out there, but you just don't see it anymore. And if you do, you don't even hardly know what it is. Oh, excuse me. But that's what I love about doing this, and what I love about hanging out with you guys, being able to share this stuff with you and learn about all this weird stuff, all these little snippets in time that we normally wouldn't even think about. Unless you saw one of these at a car show, or saw one go across TV at Meekum or Barrett or something, you don't even think about them anymore. But, this was an important time. The fact that this was all coming together at this point in the late 50s with these mergers, Packard was gone after this. This was it. The Packard name, which had, been around for years and years and years, and was a premier luxury car in the 20s and 30s. This was it. This was the last hurrah. Rebadged Studebakers. Studebaker obviously went till 66. They produced cars up to 1966. They built cars into the early 60s, but the last 2 or 3 years of production, 64, 5, and 6, I know 65 and 66, were just built in Canada and imported to the United States. So, Studebaker, even through this big merger, didn't have much life left in them. Another 8 or 9 years after this literature was put together, the whole company was done. So really crazy to think about. But that's what I love about doing this and having access to all this literature. And this is probably all there was for 58. I mean, they built 4 models of cars. They built 2,500 of them. These flyers were probably all they had for literature in that year, because they just didn't build any cars. They rebadged some Studebakers, called them Packards, sold a few of them, and then that was it. It was over. So anyway, guys, it's getting late. I think we'll be ready to wrap things up. I know I'm getting tired. I know some of you guys are getting tired. Had a great night again tonight. Congratulations to our winners. And huge shout out to the Nut Farm for donating that can back and raising some more money for that pot for Pioneer Village. We will definitely keep that receipt in that file so we keep track of that money that goes to them, and try to maintain all of our car sponsorships that we did this year. So anyway, Tuesday night, we'll do something. It may be pre-recorded again as I'm getting things wrapped up, trying to get out of town. What do you guys think about doing an extended auction next week? Is that what we want to do? We touched on it earlier, had a lot of good feedback to it. Thanks, David D. Appreciate it. Hey, there's Glenn. Did you get your new truck posted on the Nobody's page yet, Glenn? We were talking about you a little bit ago. I still got it up. I'm going to refresh it, see if you did it. I don't see it yet. Kevin L says extended auction's good. Glenn will get her up there here pretty quick. You like the loader cruises? Yeah, those have done really well. So we need to do some more of those if it dries out enough to do some. Yes, on the auction. So we want to do an extended auction next week. If that's the case, I will get a few extra things rounded up. I've got quite a bit in here because I did a little bit extra today. And I just need to get a little bit better organized because there's so much stuff in here right now. but we can absolutely do an extended auction next week. So we'll talk about Meekum. We'll see if Tractor Mike's going to stick around and hang out, and then just do some extended auction stuff and see how things go next week. But anyway, be sure to get your entries in on the Wyandotte tow truck. It's going to be a Christmas present once again for somebody now 75 years after it probably was the first time. So we'll get something up Tuesday. I don't know. Not sure that I will be live or not, but we'll see how it goes. We'll get something up, and then we'll bring you some stuff from Meekum. We usually try to throw a little bit of stuff up. And Friday night, if we have some stuff from Meekum, depending on how the weekend goes, we may just throw up one video for everybody on Friday night from Meekum. Maybe Tim will be there. Maybe we'll do some stuff with him. We'll see how that shakes out. But with that, I just hope we don't get too much snow tomorrow. And I'm tired of cold weather already, so it can just move on out as far as I'm concerned. I got work to do. I know you guys do. I know I need to get some sleep tonight. I know you guys do as well. We will see how things go this week. We'll get some stuff up Tuesday night, and we may run into some of you guys at Meekum, Kansas City. Hopefully we see some of you there. Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate you swinging by. We will be back next Sunday night, same bat time, same bat station, with a little bit different format with the extended auctions for next week. And I will try, if you guys get stuff paid for tonight or in the morning, I will try to get everything shipped before I head out to Kansas City later this week. So anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. Okay, perfect. Glenn did get his truck up. So one last thing, go check out the Nobody's page. Check out Glenn's new toy that he just got back with today. There it is. It is up. So hopefully it was everything you wanted, you thought it was going to be, Glenn. Be sure to check that out on the Nobody's page. Glenn's new ride is now posted. So anyway, let's go ahead and call it a night. I appreciate you guys being here. We will see you same bat time, same bat station next week for some more Sunday Night Live chat, only a little bit different format. There he goes. Kevin's seen it. It's a neat looking old truck. So, and may see some of you at Meekum. Looking forward to it. It's always a good couple of day getaway with a lot of cool cars and a lot of good friends. We'll see you guys next Sunday night. If we don't see you Tuesday, have a great week. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next Sunday evening.